It seems our emissions will not fall quickly enough to avoid runaway warming, and we may soon hit tipping points that will lead to the collapse of ecosystems and our civilization.
That once we cross them, even if we cool the Earth thereafter, we're stuck with the impacts for hundreds or even thousands of years.
It's already affecting people, and the price of not solving this problem is vast, almost too large to imagine.
There's no denying that climate change is happening. And there's no denying the devastating consequences that will come with it. But do we really need to prioritize this problem above all other problems we're dealing with right now? Do we really have no choice but to act now, or there will be no going back for us? I think the answer is no. Over the years, I've seen many people frame the problem as climate change versus economics. And I think that's just a really bad way to frame things. You see, modern media outlets have led us to believe economics to be this evil force that only prioritizes maximizing profits for the rich, stealing from the poor, and doesn't care about the environment at all. But the truth of the matter is, economics has been around for as long as human existence, and it's there to serve a really basic human needs. We as humans have unlimited desires, but only a limited amount of resources in which to fulfill those desires. This is as true on an individual level as it is on a national or even global level. I want to install solar panels and live in a net zero home to reduce my impact on the environment, but I can't because I don't have the money to do so. Similarly, a government might want to decrease taxes while also provide free education and world-class infrastructure to gain support from their citizens and make headlines. But they can't because they don't have the resources to do so. Of course, we can solve the problem by increasing the supply of the resources by, for example, everyone watching this video like and share it so I get paid more by YouTube. Or the nation question find a mineral deposit and use it to fund its expenditures. But the point is, over time, people get used to this new normal and eventually want more. Therefore, economics exists to help us decide what we need to be focusing our limited time, energy, and resources on. And so it would be grossly negligent of us if we only discuss what we need to do to fix climate change and not what it will take to take those actions. I'll take the energy sector for example, which is the world's largest greenhouse gas emitter, accounting for almost half of the global emission every year. And so for years, people have been talking about how we need to make the transition to renewable energy to decarbonize this sector. What's often less discussed about is the trillions of dollars that would need to go into significantly upgrading our current grid system, because our AC grid system is not very compatible with the predominantly decentralized, unpredictable, and DC nature of renewable energies. That alone would skyrocket the already neck-breaking electricity bill that many families have to pay right now, potentially pushing them into poverty, which would only put more strain on society as a whole. And that's not to mention the trillions more that would need to go into manufacturing the equipment, building infrastructures and facilities to generate, store, and use this new form of energy. Because in case you aren't aware yet, we'll not only have to replace all our current fossil fuel power plants with renewable ones, but we'll also have to electrify all the heavy industries that currently burn coal, oil, or gases to manufacture their products, like the steel industry. Or let's look over to the agricultural industry. Here, I'm less interested in the debates between vegans and meat eaters, but more so the fact that farming itself takes up a lot of space. Space that's come in the form of cutting down trees, burning down forests. There are also other environmental impacts of farming, like excessive use of water and fertilizer, and the loss of biodiversity, but to stay on topic, I'll skip over those today. There's also the emissions from processing, storing, and transporting the products before they can get to the hands of consumers. And so to decarbonize this sector, we'll need to fundamentally change the way we do our farming. Crops will need to be moved indoor and stacked vertically to save on space, and to be able to move them closer to city centers where they will be consumed, saving on transporting and storing needs. Plants that currently can't be grown in vertical farms will need to be genetically modified to fit this new form of farming, just like what our ancestors did thousands of years ago with selective breeding to make wild plants fit for human farming. And there lies our first issue. Many people will be put off by the mere fact that these crops are GMO. And even if you aren't, are you sure you can pay for your food necessities if, for example, a head of lettuce is now $15 instead of $3? Well, that will be the price of you buying vegetables now, after factoring in the complexity of building and maintaining the facilities. paying the high salary for high-skilled workers to monitor them, and the high electricity bill needed to power all the systems. Even now, we're dealing with food insecurity problems all around the world. Making such a change would only worsen the problem we'll have to deal with, not helping us in any way. And that's not to mention the billions of farmers that will now be unemployed because training them to work in these new farms will be practically impossible, while we'll also have to deal with a massive shortage of high-skilled workers to work in these new farms. Similar thing goes for the meat industry, where they'll now have to be grown in pharmaceutical-grade facilities, monitored by highly trained and highly educated people, and consume a lot of energy to power all the equipments. Basically facing all the basic problems that vertical farming will have to face, but we'll also have to deal with the fact that this is, unlike vertical farming, is an immature technology, and so a lot more investment will have to go into maturing this technology enough for mass production. I can go on and on about this all day, but I think you get to my point here. It's not so much a technical problem that we can't go net zero right now. We can if we really need to. But it's more so a practical problem where it's way too complicated and too expensive. And if we don't consider our cost versus benefits carefully, we will really quickly end up in a situation where we create more problems than we solve. Now, I can see that some of you will be saying that you understand there are challenges with going net zero right now, and it might not be the most logical thing to do. But there are no other choices for us. We have been kicking the can down the road for far too long, and if we don't act now, we'll cross over Earth's major tipping points, where the forces of nature will work against us, causing catastrophe on a scale never seen before, and we can't work against the force of nature, right? Well, let's look over to the condition on Mars for a moment. Standing on Mars is like standing in Antarctica, but it's winter, and there's no snow or ice or water anywhere around you, just toxic soils. And you can't breathe. Your whole body is welling like crazy, like it's about to explode because there are no atmospheric pressure. And on top of all of that, there's another Chernobyl disaster just happened right next to you, so you're exposed to a huge amount of radiation. That's what the condition on Mars is like. There's no way that we can screw up Earth so bad that the condition on Earth will be as hostile as that. And yet, there are people who discuss theoretical ways where we can geoengineer Mars back to a more hospitable planet. Then what makes you think that we won't be able to fix whatever the mess we create here on Earth? Human ingenuity is really amazing, and we have always been able to find a solution, no matter how hard things get. It won't be cheap or easy, and I am by no means saying that we should not care about climate change because we can always fix later. No, all I'm trying to say is, we do have options, it's possible, and so we need to carefully consider the cost versus benefits of every options we have to not end up in a situation where we create more problems by solving one. And if we believe that climate change is the problem we should be prioritizing right now, then the best thing we can do is to vote with our money. Go buy an electric car instead of a gasoline one. Go buy induction cooktop instead of a gas stove. Go buy a heat pump or electric heater instead of a gas heater. Because that's the only way to show an economy that the people that care about this problem more than other problems they are facing right now. Thank you very much. My name is Tai Jung, and this is I Have a Dream. Okay, before ending this video, I need to clarify a few things. The point of this video is not to say that climate change is not real, or that we don't need to take any action about it. At this point, it's most definitely real, and we need to fix the problem that we created ourselves. The point of this video, however, is to hopefully help create a more constructive discussing environment around this topic by raising people's awareness about the role economics play when making decisions to best fix climate change. And to hopefully change you guys' spending habits to better reflect your belief, because as we all know, a single action is worth 1,000 words. I know I might not have done a very good job at delivering this point across in this video, and that's why I'm including this accurate parts now. I might have also cut out a little too much detail when writing the script for this video that I could have included to make my arguments more convincing. And so if any of you want me to cover deeper into any related topic, just drop a comment down below and I'll try to make a separate video covering them. Or you can also suggest other topics that you want me to cover in future videos that are related to the broader theme of this channel. This channel is named I Have a Dream after the famous I Have a Dream speech given by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where in it he famously talked about his beliefs about what the future of America should look like. And it was his beliefs, along with the people who believed in them, that ultimately went on to change the course of history. And so my hope with this channel is to be a place where I can share my belief about what the world in the next 5, 10, 30, 50, or even 100 years will look like. Why I come to believe them to be. So that hopefully, after watching them, you guys will also come to share the same beliefs as me. And maybe, just maybe, one day, one of them will become our shared future. Thank you very much.